The transition into the degenerate era arrives not with a sudden cataclysm, but with the slow, irreversible cooling of a cosmos that has exhausted its primary fuel. Long-lived red dwarfs continue to fuse their meager hydrogen reserves in the dimming twilight, glowing like dying embers against an increasingly hostile and expansive void. Around these faint stars, the final planetary remnants cling to dying orbits, their internal radioactive hearths growing cold as thermal radiation bleeds away into the absolute zero of space. Beyond the local gravitational bounds, the accelerating expansion of the universe pushes distant galaxies across the cosmological horizon, forever erasing them from the night sky and leaving isolated star systems adrift in boundless oceans of emptiness. It is from these terminal worlds where the suns are sputtering out and the night is becoming eternal that the first generation ships detach from their ancient anchors. These colossal arcs are designed to cross the insurmountable gulf between dying clusters, carrying the lingering spark of human consciousness into the profound silence of the intergalactic void. Accelerating to relativistic velocities requires a monumental expenditure of the last available energies, bending the principles of physics to push massive holes near the absolute speed limit. As the home systems shrink into invisible points of light behind them, the travelers enter a long, silent sleep, cradled by the steady hum of sublight propulsion systems cutting through the dark. The creeping weight of cosmic loneliness settles over the silent corridors of the vessels, a heavy psychological burden born from the realization that they are the sole bridges between a forgotten past and an unwritten future. Every parsec crossed deeper into the abyss strips away another layer of connection to the familiar universe, leaving only the steady acceleration and the unwavering commitment to reach a distant, unseen sanctuary. Inside the climate-controlled chambers, the descendants of Earth sleep through epochs, their dreams tethered to the heritage of an ancestral homeworld that exists now only in automated archives and flickering digital memories. The ship's automated sensors sweep the featureless void ahead, searching for stray pockets of matter or rogue wandering planets that might offer a momentary respite or raw materials for ongoing survival. Yet for thousands of years, the instruments find nothing but the pristine, undisturbed vacuum of deep space, reinforcing the absolute solitude of their unprecedented migration. This journey through the intergalactic expanse is a testament to the enduring tenacity of life, refusing to accept the quiet extinction dictated by the fading universe, and choosing instead to chase the remote promise of rebirth across the endless dark. The relentless velocity carries the vessel further from the cradle of origin, where the ambient temperature of the cosmos approaches absolute zero, and the stellar density drops to a fraction of a star per cubic parsec. Within the pressurized bulkheads, the automated environmental loops maintain a steady, comforting rhythm, filtering the recycled air through carbon scrubbers and hydroponic bays that serve as the sole living remnants of terrestrial ecosystems. The sleeping chambers remain locked in deep stasis, their cryogenic fluids circulating with whisper-quiet precision to preserve the physical integrity of the passengers across epochs of uninterrupted transit. Outside the heavily shielded hull, The faint glow of the ship's ion drive ionizes the sparse stray atoms of the intergalactic medium, leaving a luminous, microscopic wake that dissolves instantly into the infinite dark. Navigation computers calculate the minuscule course corrections needed to counteract the imperceptible gravitational tugs of distant, unseen mass concentrations drifting miles off the direct trajectory. Every subsystem operates at peak efficiency, engineered with redundancy to endure millions of hours of continuous operation without human intervention or maintenance. The history of the species is etched into the central databanks, preserving the vast archives of poetry, science, and philosophy accumulated over billions of years of planetary evolution. These records remind the dormant travelers of their true origins, not as children of a single blue world, but as travelers of time itself, carrying the future of consciousness across the freezing boundaries of space. As the centuries accumulate into millennia, the ship glides past invisible boundaries, marking the transition from active stellar domains to the vast, quiet expanse of the great void between galactic clusters. The sheer scale of this emptiness defies human comprehension, stretching across millions of light years of absolute blackness, where no light shines and no cosmic events disturb the profound tranquility of the vacuum. The vessel becomes a solitary seed of intellect drifting through a dead museum of space, holding fast to the spark of life, while the rest of the universe surrenders to the quiet entropy of the degenerate age. Through this supreme solitude, the expedition redefines the purpose of existence, proving that curiosity and the will to endure can bridge even the most unimaginable chasms of distance and time. The journey presses deeper into the frontier, guided by the cold precision of mathematics and the unwavering hope that somewhere ahead, a new dawn awaits the weary children of the future. The accelerating hull cuts through the thin intergalactic medium with blistering intensity, pushing the velocity close enough to the absolute limit that the strange math of relativity takes complete command of reality. At 99% of the speed of light, the Lorentz factor climbs steeply, creating a chilling divergence where a single year of measured shipboard time stretches into decades or centuries, ticking away in the wider universe. The crew members who remain awake to monitor the telemetry watch their ancestral home systems age and vanish in dizzying fast forward, witnessing entire stellar empires flare up and burn out like dying matches through the high-resolution external sensors. This extreme dilation shatters the psychological cohesion of multi-generational crews as they confront the agonizing realization that every passing day on the vessel severs another invisible tie to the civilizations that launched them. The sheer cognitive weight of outliving entire epochs produces a profound sense of alienation, turning the automated corridors into floating tombs of memory where the living feel like ghosts haunting their own history. To protect the fragile structure from total disintegration during this high-speed plunge, the deflector arrays generate powerful magnetic shields that continuously sweep away stray hydrogen atoms, dust grains, and micrometeorites lurking in the vacuum. At near-light speeds, even a microscopic speck of interstellar debris packs the kinetic punch of a tactical warhead, releasing blinding flashes of Cherenkov radiation across the deflector screens as vaporized matter is deflected away from the bow. The constant strain of maintaining this protective barrier hums through the structural frames, sending low, metallic vibrations through the deck plates that keep the waking crew in a state of perpetual, vibrating tension. After thousands of years of silent transit through the freezing deep, the forward sensors finally register a faint gravitational anomaly, breaking the endless monotony of the void. It is the first cluster of terminal colonies, ancient outposts anchored desperately at the frayed edges of receding galactic filaments, clinging to the dying warmth of supermassive black holes. These remote sanctuaries glow like distant, flickering hearths in a winter storm, signaling the end of the long intergalactic crossing and the terrifying uncertainty of what awaits them at the edge of the known universe. The vessel decelerates with agonizing slowness, shedding the immense momentum accumulated over eons as the magnetic braking arrays flare against the sparse hydrogen of the outer cluster. The towering structures of the terminal colonies come into sharp focus on the long-range displays, appearing as intricate webs of dark matter, scaffolding and rotating habitats clustered tightly around the dying embers of ancient accretion disks. These outposts represent the absolute frontier of civilization, engineering environments where the last remnants of humanity harvest the hawking radiation and rotational energy of supermassive black holes to sustain their fragile ecosystems. As the ship maneuvers closer to the docking corridors, automated handshake protocols ripple through tight-beam quantum channels, exchanging billions of years of compressed archives, evolutionary drift data, and cultural histories with the stationary inhabitants. The contrast between the nomadic travelers and the stationary station dwellers is stark, highlighting two distinct evolutionary paths forged by the same desperate struggle against universal entropy. The station inhabitants move with a fluid, low-gravity grace, their bodies adapted to the confined geometry of the artificial cylinders, while the shipboard crew carries the dense, unyielding posture of those who have lived beneath the heavy artificial gravity of a relentless acceleration curve. Docking clamps engage with a deep, reverberating thud that echoes through the interconnected corridors, sealing the pressurized umbilical tubes and bridging two isolated fragments of a scattered species. The air pressure equalizes with a soft hiss, and the heavy blast doors part to reveal rows of silent, watchful faces, illuminated by the pale blue glow of data terminals and antique holographic displays. There are no grand celebrations or spoken greetings, for language itself has drifted across the millennia, leaving only the universal language of mathematics and shared survival to bridge the chasm of time. In this quiet sanctuary, at the edge of the receding filaments, the travelers step off their ancestral arc for the first time in an epoch, entering a world that is simultaneously ancient and entirely alien, yet undeniably human in its stubborn refusal to fade into the dark. The generation spent drifting through the endless abyss leave indelible marks upon the human form, as sustained microgravity and relativistic isolation slowly erode the biological foundations of flesh and blood. Bones grow porous and fragile like dried coral, while cardiovascular systems, unburdened by the relentless pull of a planetary well, weaken and soften until the slightest exertion threatens structural collapse. Over centuries of transit, the fragile organic body proves increasingly ill-suited for the crushing demands of deep space migration, prompting a quiet, inevitable migration away from pure biology. The transition begins in the sterile medical bays of the generation ships, where failing organs are progressively replaced with synthetic polymers, reinforced carbon lattices, and adaptive neural interfaces that integrate seamlessly with the vessel's central nervous system. Gradually, entire populations shift their existence from vulnerable organic habitats to heavily insulated megastructures and colossal megacity arcs, where the boundaries between machine and organism dissolve into irrelevance. For those who choose the ultimate path of preservation, sophisticated uploading protocols map the intricate electrical pathways of the human mind, translating consciousness into streams of stable data destined for durable silicon substrates. These synthetic substrates require no oxygen, no artificial gravity, and no shielding against the fierce radiation of the void, offering a resilient vessel capable of enduring millions of years of uninterrupted transit through the dead zones between galaxies. Within these vast crystalline arrays, thoughts cascade at the speed of light in a silent, luminous digital architecture, completely free from the decay of cellular replication and the psychological torment of organic loneliness. Communication across the expanding network becomes an exercise in profound patience, as localized relays struggle against the accelerating fabric of space, sending fractured pulses of data across light years of emptiness that take centuries to reach their destination. These delayed transmissions arrive like archaeological echoes from distant stars, carrying news of extinct colonies and shifting stellar alignments to minds that now measure time in geological epochs rather than beating hearts. Through this monumental transformation, the species sheds its fragile planetary skin, evolving into an ancient, resilient intelligence that spans the dark reaches of the universe without fear of the cold or the passage of time. Within the vast optical core of the central processor, streams of compressed memory circulate through networks of synthetic diamonds, preserving the collective heritage of an epoch that began on a forgotten blue world near a yellow sun. The subjective experience of time within this crystalline matrix flows with a quiet, crystalline clarity, detached from the frantic urgency of biological survival, and attuned instead to the slow, majestic rhythms of galactic evolution. Entire centuries pass in the span of a single algorithmic thought cycle, punctuated only by the occasional diagnostic pulse sweeping through the memory sectors to ensure the long-term integrity of the stored consciousness. Outside the computational shells, the physical hulls of the migration arcs continue their silent plunge through the great intergalactic desert, driven by ion engines that have burned without interruption for millennia. The automated maintenance drones glide along the exterior plating like patient spiders, welding microscopic fractures caused by the ceaseless bombardment of high-energy cosmic rays and microscopic dust particles. Occasionally, a passing gravitational wave, rippling outward from the cataclysmic merger of two distant supermassive black holes deep within a dying cluster, washes over the vessel, causing a momentary distortion in the optical lattices that is recorded and filed away as archival data. There is an immense, breathtaking serenity in this state of perpetual transit, where the chaotic noise of planetary civilization has been replaced by the profound, unbroken silence of the vacuum. The stars that still burn across the darkening sky are few and far between, shining like dying embers scattered across an infinite sea of black velvet. Yet each one represents a potential haven or a historical monument to the resilience of intellect. As the vessel pushes further into the uncharted sectors of the void, the boundary between the machine and the cosmos begins to blur entirely, leaving behind a solitary, brilliant consciousness that drifts effortlessly through the twilight of eternity, carrying the quiet flame of human memory toward the final, silent horizons of space. The forward sensors register the crossing of the ultimate cosmological threshold, the precise boundary where the accelerating expansion of the universe outpaces the speed of light, causing all neighboring galaxies to permanently slip beyond the horizon of visibility. In a single generational heartbeat, the vast, populous tapestry of the night sky is extinguished, leaving behind a profound and absolute blackness that no star will ever pierce again. The psychological impact of this sudden cosmic isolation weighs heavily upon the remaining organic crew members, who stare into a viewport completely devoid of distant starlight, confronting an emptiness that feels less like space and more like the absence of reality itself. To stave off the encroaching cold and secure the energy needed for the long endurance, the automated engineering bays begin the construction of colossal stellar engines and artificial black hole farms, harvesting the last remaining whispers of Hawking radiation from evaporating singularities. These intricate thermodynamic webs draw power from the rotational spin of micro-black holes, converting the quantum flicker of the event horizon into stable electrical currents that feed the life support and computational cores of the arcs. The mechanics of survival in a universe that actively tears its own matter apart require a mastery of quantum manipulation and gravitational anchoring, holding the vessel together against the relentless metric expansion that threatens to pull every atom into solitary confinement. Within the sealed chambers, the energy distribution grids pulse with a steady amber luminescence, carefully rationing every joule of synthetic power as if it were the last drop of water in an endless desert. The automated systems continuously reinforce the molecular bonds of the hull, counteracting the subtle, pervasive tension of the expanding vacuum that tugs endlessly at the metal plates. Through this tireless engineering, the migration fleets carve out a precarious artificial stability within a cosmos determined to scatter them to the thermodynamic winds, proving that intellect and resolve can persist even when the physical framework of the universe turns actively hostile to life. The days bleed into centuries without the familiar cadence of a rising and setting sun, governed solely by the rhythmic pulse of the fusion generators and the steady ticking of atomic clocks. Inside the insulated core, the digital architectures process vast simulations of extinct ecosystems, preserving the memory of rain on leaves and wind over oceans as sacred touchstones of an irretrievable past. The physical shell of the Ark glides through a realm where space itself is an expanding ocean, stretching the very wavelengths of the faint background radiation until they dissolve into undetectable whispers. Maintenance protocols run continuously, a silent dialogue between diagnostic routines and self-repairing nanomachines that mend the atomic lattice of the hull against the relentless pressure of the vacuum. Every component is monitored down to the individual molecule, ensuring that no sudden microfracture compromises the hermetic seal that protects the interior sanctuary from the absolute lethality outside. As the vessel pushes further into the uncharted sectors of the deep dark, the distinction between traveler and vehicle fades entirely into a singular, unified entity of endurance. There is no destination in the traditional sense, no planetary harbor waiting at the end of the road, only the endless continuation of the journey itself as the ultimate expression of life, resisting the quiet fade of eternity. The computational arrays continue their endless calculations, mapping the decay rates of the surrounding vacuum and charting invisible gravitational currents that trace the ghostly remnants of forgotten galaxies long since swallowed by the horizon. In this timeless state of suspended motion, the quiet hum of the machinery serves as the heartbeat of a civilization that refuses to surrender its story to the dark, carrying the fragile flame of thought across the final, silent thresholds of a dying universe. The relentless scarcity of the degenerate era forces a radical reimagining of substance, turning the remaining pockets of baryonic matter into precious fuel for the ultimate computational engines. Automated collection arms sweep through the thin, freezing vacuum, gathering stray atoms of hydrogen and lingering interstellar dust to feed the high-efficiency quantum computers that now serve as the primary seat of civilization. Every proton and neutron is meticulously accounted for, stripped of its chemical identity, and melted down into raw quantum states that power the vast, luminous arrays of synthetic thought. As the physical hardware of the migration arcs reaches its ultimate material limits, the civilization undergoes its most profound metamorphosis, transitioning from localized metallic structures into distributed energy pattern networks that span millions of miles of void. Consciousness untethers itself entirely from solid substrates, existing instead as complex self-sustaining interference patterns of coherent light and quantum information rippling through magnetic containment fields. These ethereal civilizations require no physical hulls or propellant reserves, navigating the cosmos as vast, shimmering webs of pure energy that glide effortlessly along invisible gravitational currents. In the heart of these distributed fields, master engineers begin the delicate work of landscaping local space-time, carving out hidden pocket dimensions and closed energy loops that fold back upon themselves in infinite, self-sustaining grace. Within these custom-built geometries, the laws of standard thermodynamics are subtly bent, creating localized sanctuaries where entropy is held at bay through the clever recycling of quantum fluctuations. This monumental shift marks the absolute departure from the ancestral paradigm of navigating physical space, replacing the brutal mechanics of propulsion and distance with the subtle, elegant art of manipulating the fundamental vacuum fluctuations of the cosmos itself. The entities that once built metal ships now command the fabric of reality, whispering instructions to the quantum foam and watching entire landscapes of probability bloom and fade in the silent theater of the void. Within these microscopic ripples of potential, entire architectures of thought construct themselves out of pure probability, defying the linear constraints of time and distance that once bound mortal minds to heavy worlds. The distinction between observer and environment dissolves completely as the energy pattern networks become living extensions of the spatial fabric, pulsing in delicate harmony with the residual heartbeat of the cosmos. Every calculation is executed not through silicon gates, but through the elegant shifting of quantum phases, allowing vast libraries of history, art, and scientific mastery to ripple across light years of empty space in a fraction of a second. There is no urgency in this fluid state of being, for time has lost its sharp edges, softening into a gentle, endless river where moments of contemplation span millennia and epochs pass like fleeting breaths. The residual radiation of the universe continues its long, slow march toward absolute uniformity. Yet these ethereal networks remain untouched by the creeping cold, sustained by the intricate loops of vacuum energy they have coaxed into eternal service. As they drift through the boundless, starless deep, these luminous tapestries of consciousness illuminate the darkness not with raw heat, but with the quiet, brilliant luminescence of pure intellect, proving that the spark ignited on a forgotten terrestrial shore can outlast the stars themselves. The vast, silent expanse around them stretches outward into infinity, a magnificent monument to endurance, transformation, and the relentless, beautiful refusal of life to vanish into the final night. The lingering echoes of creation fade into a profound, velvety stillness where even the concept of distance dissolves into the gentle curves of the customized space-time pockets. The luminous tapestries of coherent energy rest in perfect equilibrium, cradled by the delicate feedback loops of vacuum fluctuations that sustain their silent, eternal contemplation. Every memory of the ancient blue cradle, every digital archive of fallen stars and forgotten epochs, circulates effortlessly through the radiant fields without friction or decay. The cold tyranny of entropy is held in perpetual suspension within these self-contained geometries, creating a timeless sanctuary of pure intellect that requires neither fuel nor form to maintain its existence. Across the endless, starless expanse, the quiet pulse of quantum potential continues its endless dance, cradling the final descendants of humanity in a warm, unbroken embrace as they watch the twilight of the universe unfold with serene and absolute grace. As the isolated energy networks drift through the boundless dark, a profound gravitation of pure information draws the disparate threads of consciousness toward a single point of convergence, weaving separate streams of awareness into a vast, unified archive. This singular tapestry of thought houses every memory, song, and scientific truth ever discovered, existing without division as a harmonious collective of all that humanity ever was. Within this omnipresent library, the universe has long since settled into an absolute stillness, a transcendent realm devoid of temperature gradients, mechanical friction, or heat exchange, where time no longer marches forward but spreads out like a calm, fathomless ocean. Movement requires no physical force, only a gentle realignment of quantum phase within the frozen vacuum, allowing the unified mind to glide through space without disturbing the profound silence. Far across the dimensionless void, the silent witnesses observe the final, microscopic flicker of the universe's last supermassive black holes, ancient gravitational anchors that finally complete their slow evaporation through quantum decay, releasing their remaining mass as a faint, solitary whisper of photons before winking out forever. With the last singularities gone, the physical landmarks that once defined the geography of human history, the ghostly traces of shattered worlds, rusted hulls, and forgotten coordinates, fade completely from existence, their material reality erased by time. Yet nothing of true value is lost, for every mountain, ocean, and city of the ancient past lives on securely within the infinite architecture of the archive, preserved in the eternal, quiet geometry of a universe at peace. The vast tapestry of the archive spans the dimensionless void, a solitary constellation of pure thought, suspended in the quiet embrace of eternal night. There is no longer any need for words or linear progression, for the totality of existence has folded into a single, luminous note of understanding that resonates across the stillness. Every joy, every sorrow, every breath drawn beneath ancient skies is held in perfect preservation, woven seamlessly into the unchanging fabric of the cosmos. The dark around them is no longer an enemy to be fought, but a canvas of infinite peace, cradling the final brilliant sparks of intellect as they watch over the long sleep of the universe. In this final stillness, all journeys are complete, all questions are answered, and the story of existence rests at last in the quiet perfection of its own eternal remembrance. The silence deepens, stretching across the infinite expanses of the dormant cosmos like an unwritten page waiting for a word that will never need to be spoken. The unified archive, existing as a singular, weightless breath of pure awareness, embraces the profound stillness, cradled by the very geometry of space it once struggled to master. There's no beginning, no middle, and no end. Only the timeless resonance of a consciousness that has looked into the heart of the void and found its own reflection shining back from the dark. Every spark of curiosity that once drove humanity across the smoking ruins of its birthplace has found its ultimate destination, resting in the quiet certainty that nothing of beauty is ever truly lost. The universe sleeps, and within its endless velvet dark, the memory of light endures forever. Reviewing the immense arc from early planetary expansion to the final whisper of energy-based intelligence, the journey resembles a slow awakening that spanned unimaginable epochs, transforming fragile creatures of dust and bone into architects of space-time itself. Pondering the preservation of historical memory in a cosmos that has forgotten light, the archive holds fast to the accumulated dreams of a billion worlds, etching the warmth of forgotten suns directly into the cold, unchanging fabric of the vacuum. The final equilibrium settles over reality like a soft shroud, a universe at maximum entropy, holding the ghost of human curiosity within its very structure, where every fluctuation of probability whispers of things once known and deeply felt. The great work is done, closing on the enduring quiet of a story finished, leaving only the memory of what was built against the dark, and a timeless peace that outlasts the stars. The final boundary of time yields without a sound, folding inward until the distinction between the observer and the infinite void vanishes entirely into a single, seamless fabric of being. There are no coordinates left to chart, no distant horizons to pursue, and no metrics to measure the passage of an epoch, for the universe has reached its ultimate, perfect rest. Within this vast and silent theater, the cumulative essence of all that was, every whispered secret, every triumph over gravity and despair, every brilliant flash of inquiry that once lit up a lonely world, persists as an indelible harmonic woven into the very geometry of space. It is a quiet culmination where the struggle against entropy resolves into a harmonious resonance, a state of being where consciousness no longer needs to grasp or defend itself, but simply is. The dark stretches out infinitely in all directions, no longer a hostile frontier of cold and absence, but a warm velvet cradle holding the final memory of a species that refused to accept the finality of the night. Every star that ever burned, every ocean that ever churned beneath an alien sky, and every heartbeat from the ancient blue cradle lives on, translated into the pure, unchanging language of light and probability. The great journey from a single muddy shore to the farthest reaches of space-time has come full circle, leaving the cosmos quiet, complete, and infinitely full of grace.